Could you please give us a quick overview of what kind of visibility or insights Contango and backwardation provide? So we're talking about, and
In futures.
do you ever look at SPY to see Contango and backwardation to say, okay, March, we've got a 19% implied volatility. April, it's 20. June, it's 21. So that is normal volatility where it's getting higher as we go further out in time.
Yeah. So there are a couple of points. If the question is about, strictly speaking, Contango and backwardation, those are futures sort of discussions. If you're talking about volatility, that's a little bit different, but you can also refer to it in terms of, higher and lower front month versus back month. So what I want to do is I just want to say a couple things about the futures backwardation and Contango. So Contango is where the futures price is, the front month is higher than the back month. So let's say the March contract is higher than the June contract. Maybe let's take a look at soybeans or corn or something like that and see where the futures are. So like ZS. So right now, if I look at on the right-hand side, kind of down the list, not the where the futures are, right in the middle, right towards just on the right-hand side, to the right of the days to expiration, right in there.
Oh, so, where it says the price, the last.
Yeah.
The last
so
price.
The futures, see where it's the front month, the March futures trading at 11:35. The March is trading at 11:51, and they go further and further. Look at the Mays. So the front months are in Contango, where the back month is higher than the front month. But as you look at the May to the Seps or the Julys, they're in backwardation. So 11:63 versus 11:54. So soybeans, and this is not unusual. This is not unusual for soybeans, where the front month futures are in Contango and the back month is in backwardation. Does this tell me anything? Or excuse me. Yeah, that's true. The front month is Contango, the back month is backwardation.
Right, and Contango Contango means as you go further out in time, the price is getting higher, increasing. Backwardation is if we see a crash in the market and VIX explodes, we go into backwardation where our front month options have a higher vol than our back month options.
So that's soybeans. Can you pull up ZB really quickly, please? So the same thing here, okay? So in bonds, okay? It's 117.13 versus the 116.31 versus the 116.10. Much narrower. So the reason I'm showing you corn versus bonds, the contango and backwardation in things like bonds or the S&Ps is strictly a cost of carry question. It's strictly interest rates versus any dividends or yields you get paid. It's purely financial. The backwardation in contango in bonds doesn't tell you anything about direction. It just doesn't, because it's all interest, it's all cost to carry. If you're looking at something like soybeans or crude oil or gold or something, that can suggest supply and demand issues. So if they're jacking up the front month and the futures is going sharply into backwardation, there could be a shortage short term in that product, right? Or if they're jacking up the prices into a sharp contango in the back month, that could indicate a shortage in the future. In other words, they're expecting a bad crop this summer, so they're jacking up the futures price. That's what it can suggest. Take that now and look at the option price or look at the implied volatilities. It's the same idea.
So his questions are, can we benefit from contango or set up strategies around it? For
the future, not really. There's no speculative. It's not like you're picking off the futures market because they're in contango or backwardation. It's just information. That's it.
Now, I think more of just the market, the market and our trading our equities, and when we're having a big fall and VIX is really spiking, we'll go into backwardation, where we have that much higher vol in Feb and March, and then lower vol in April, May, June, August, because it knows we can't stay in this heightened vol for too long, and eventually it will come in. And at that point, I believe our research shows it's okay to sell shorter term options at that point. When we're getting such an increase in vol in those shorter term options, it might be beneficial to bring your strikes in, sell higher deltas, sell slightly shorter term options, then go into the 16 delta, 45 days. That's kind of how I look at backwardation, but it's not often that it happens in SPY.
Well, so the point is, it's the same idea as in futures, that if I look at the quote unquote contango and backwardation in, let's say, or let's pull up NVIDIA, let's pull up NVDA, that's been moving around a lot. And the volatilities are all over the place because they have earnings coming out on February 25th. Look at the volatility numbers. Forget today. Forget the 0 DTEs. The 3-day has a 29.9% volatility. The 7 days have a 59.8% volatility. Why? Because even if I didn't see that earnings indicator line, I would know that earnings are coming up between those days. That's more informative. So just like you just said, Judd, I can use that to structure a trade. If I'm willing to take the risk, if I want to put a speculative trade on an NVIDIA, I would choose, let's say, the 7-day options. If I want to take the risk through earnings, if I'm comfortable doing that, I'm collecting about twice the volatility. Going from 3 days to 7 days.
Right.
Okay. Or to your point, going up to 41 days at 49% or 56 days at 48%, that's like a 20, the 7 days have a 20% higher volatility or something like that. So you're getting rewarded for taking risk. So the change, the month-to-month changes in volatility tell me where the risk premium is. Where can I get rewarded for selling premium, for taking risk? That's what that number is. So yeah, if I'm, just like you said, John, I'd be selling, if I'm willing to take risk through earnings, I'll sell those 7-day options. Sell it's $188 stock. It's kind of expensive. I'd sell defined risk trades in here. So I would go in 7 days. Let's just see what we get. Let's just, for the sake of argument, open up the 7 days and see what we get. If I sell the... I
love how Fabio's Contango backwardation question is leading to an earnings trade in NVIDIA.
but this is how it works. This is the practical point of their Contango backwardation stuff. So it's one thing to understand this stuff conceptually, mathematically, academically. Jenny and I are traders. Okay, we have to get paid. I pay my bills with trading. So my point is, and the dogs eat a lot of food. I need to pay for my dog food. So the point is, all this discussion is very interesting, but if I can't turn it into a trade, okay, it's a nice to know thing. So, right. Excuse me, Fabio's question leads to a very interesting point. Yeah, the contango and backwardation in volatility points me towards an NVIDIA trade. And the point, so let's click in, let's just go to the 20 delta puts, the 75 puts, the 175 puts, sell one of those, buy a 70 put, and then go to the call side, go in the calls and maybe sell the 200 calls and buy the 205 calls. So if I structure this iron condor, I'm selling a 5-point iron condor for $1.56. That's not bad. That's about almost a third of the width of the strikes. But here's the important number, and this number you're only going to find in this platform, is that P50 number. Okay, probability of making 50%. So this all comes down into a trade. Okay, so P50. So if I can sell that iron condor for $1.58, half the max profit is what, about, I don't know, 80 cents or so, let's say 75 cents.
Right.
If I have about a 66% probability, pretty good, of taking that trade off for a 50% profit before earnings, okay, before 7 days. So if that iron condor drops down to 80 cents before earnings, I'm taking it off. I'm taking it off for a smaller than max profit. Heck, I might even take it off for a 40% profit or a 30% profit. That's how I think about tying in contango backwardation and volatility with an option trade and the P50 number. It's all ties together.